Hello everybody, my name is KingStix, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to play Vi jungle like a pro. First thing is your runes. If you want to carry with Vi jungle and have the best impact, you're going to be going for Hella Blades. This synergizes the best with Vi's W and helps her to carry really hard. You could also go Aftershock as well. However, you're not going to have the same early game carry potential. You will scale a little bit better into the late game with it though. The first thing you're going to want to do is get your Hunter's Machete and refillable potion, and then keep an eye on your red buff. For some reason, whenever I play Vi, the enemy team seems to want to invade me. Vi's level 1 is relatively weak unless you go Aftershock and your whole team is stacked behind you. In this case, my team is not stacked and I did not go Aftershock, so I'm not looking for level 1 5v5. In situations like these, it's better not to fight it and instead start on your blue buff. If they do actually take my red buff, it'll give me time to go over to his red buff and take it after I've already taken my blue buff. Start W and do your best to kite the camp as you attack it in between each autos. It's typically auto back up, auto back up to get the most bang for your bot. I didn't want 𝐒𝐿𝐻 to leash me because I didn't want the enemies to know where I was starting. That would put me in a very weird situation. Whenever you are going to invade the enemy's red buff, it's important that you hold the wall along the side of Baron because it's very common for enemies to ward the pixel brush over here. If you hold along that wall, then you will be able to bypass the pixel ward brush and make it to the enemy's red buff without the enemies having any idea. The only way they'll know you're over here is if they warded the red buff itself, which is very uncommon. You will be taking your Q level 2, that way you can get over the wall. In a normal situation, when you're just going to be farming to level 3, you will be taking your level 2. Rek'Sai did just gank my bot lane, and we know that he took my red buff. It's likely he's going to go to his blue side now and play around his bot lane. I really don't want to be trying to gank a Nautilus, especially while Rek'Sai is going to hang out there, so instead I'm going to go for his golems next to hit level 3. Golems plus any 2 camps will give you level 3, which is Vi's main power spike. Very few champions can match Vi's level 3, and it's very scary as a laner to play against. Vi's second biggest power spike is when she hits level 6. Her ganks are pretty much unstoppable as long as the enemy isn't underneath her turret. Your gank should be a kill. When you're going in for a gank on Vi, it's important that you come up behind the enemy. In this case, Darius is getting shoved in, and he's not playing that aggressively. He's also only level 2, so odds are he doesn't have his pull yet. Once he hits level 3, he'll probably take that. I want to try to come up behind him and hit him with my Q. He acts fairly quickly in this situation. I throw out my Q, but I don't want to flash at the end of it to make it connect because it was so close, and I figured he might flash it anyway. So now I just stay on top of him, auto attack E, since your E is an auto attack resetter, and it also has more range than Vi's normal auto attack. I then auto attack E him again as he's running away, and it allows 𝐒𝐿𝐻 to follow it up with the second part of her E and finish him off. The most important aspect of that gank was the auto attack and E resetters for the extra damage. Something I could have done a little bit better was holding on to my Q as Darius pretty much juked in place, which would have let me get closer and closer until he wouldn't really have been able to dodge it. This jungle route of double buff into golems into gank is a perfect setup for Vi to then take Scuttle Crab right as it spawns in. I've been keeping an eye on Rek'Sai as he's been ganking my bot lane the first time, and I noticed he only had 4 CS in red buff, which meant he only took my red buff in gank. Now I see he has 16 CS in double buffs, which means he took his whole blue side jungle and then ganked my bot lane again. Remember guys, each camp is 4 CS, so my red buff is 4 and then 12 is 3. While working in the same side of the jungle, it's usually best to start the camp out with an auto attack, then queuing into an auto attack E. The starting auto attack will aggro the camp into attacking you, and then immediately queuing will cancel all of the monster's auto attacks. The Q will wrap the whole camp into itself, which will allow your auto E combo to smash against the whole camp, which will let you clear a lot faster. So my plan right now is to do a full jungle clear and then back and get my items. I don't really want to try to gank bot since they are so far behind right now without my ultimate. Nautilus and Ashe have a lot of CC. It's going to be very difficult for me to even get in there. On your first back on Vi, you really want to get a Skirmisher's Saber, a longsword, and boots if you can afford it. Next, you're going to want to get a pink ward and also get an oracle lens. This is going to help you gank a lot better. It's very important on Vi not to waste time on bad ganks because you will start to fall behind really far because she doesn't have the fastest clears out of the junglers. Not only that, but her late game is arguably very weak, so you're really playing for her early and mid game power spikes. Vi's W does allow her the option to take early game dragons. I wouldn't recommend doing it earlier than level 5 on Vi, and definitely not before your first back if you are going to be soloing it. Whenever you do go for the dragon, always come from the back of the pit on Vi if possible. That area is typically not warded and the enemies won't see you coming. River is typically warded, so if you run through that area, the enemies are going to come in and kill you. While taking dragon, make sure to weave in your E every time your passive is up to give you that extra shield. You really want to try to hold on to your Q while taking dragon just in case the enemies show up. It'll give you an escape route, that way you don't have to blow your flash. I see Rek'Sai top lane while taking dragon, so I feel confident to finish it and to go for a scuttle crab afterwards. The reason why I even went to rush the dragon is Rek'Sai was spending so much time bot lane. He had only farmed his bot lane jungle that I knew he was gonna have to back or go to his top side jungle, so by the time I finished my clear and went to dragon, he really shouldn't have been in the area. And fortunately, 𝐒𝐿𝐈, who I got ahead, just killed Rek'Sai as well, which allows me to go into Rek'Sai's jungle, take his Gromp, and I could have gone for his wolves as well, but the enemy bot lane stepping up and Nico's on her way, so I wanted to be here for that. I wait till Nautilus is CC'd and slowed, and then I hit him with my Q. Even if he would have flashed it at that point, he was so deep in on us, he wouldn't have been able to get away. Otherwise, I would have actually held on to my Q and forced autos on him first. I did get level 6 off of killing Nautilus, so I want to use my ultimate. I pick up my red buff before the gank because I want to also try to kill Rek'Sai on his red buff. I take my raptors while I wait for the big R gank to materialize, and now I'm going to loop around since he just awarded that area. He's not really stepping up though, so instead I want to kill Rek'Sai on his red buff. I do see Rek'Sai over here and he just took his red. He's pinned against a wall, so this is a pretty good point for me to Q. After landing, I immediately auto attack, then E him. I then accidentally flash, proceed to auto red smite him. I then ult him because I'm trying to predict his ultimate and knock him up. I auto attack him again, then I ultimate, catch him in a weird spot, and then I auto attack him again, and then E, finishing him off and actually killing him after he'd already flashed away. Vi's E has a little bit of auto aim on it like you see there. Now I want to take his golems to establish an even bigger lead. Darius is dead, so this is really safe to do. I actually have a really strong XP lead over the Rek'Sai because I took his golems originally and it's the highest XP camp, and now I'm taking them again on their second spawn. So this is a really good spot for me to be in right now. Now I do want to wait for Darius to come back in the lane. 𝐒𝐿𝐈's overstepping a little bit. She could pull it back a little bit farther. Luckily this Darius is clueless. I Q into him, auto attack E, and we blow him up pretty much instantly. I could stay and help with the turret plates. In this situation, I'd rather let 𝐒𝐿𝐈 keep steamrolling the Darius since she has such a commanding lead and is clearly the better player. Also, and more importantly, I can now finish my jungle item, which is a huge power spike for Vi, and I see the enemy bot lane is still playing quite aggressive, and I want to head over there and give them a beatdown. In general, I don't recommend ganking a losing lane as a jungler. In this specific case though, Nautilus is low on HP. I just hit an insane power spike, and the enemy bot lane doesn't have a completed item yet bot lane, so this should be really easy. While running bot lane, I'm looking around the map and see Rek'Sai is mid, so this should be really safe. No one should be here to interrupt me. The enemies are slammed up against the turret. I go ahead and cut them off here. There's no reason for me to run through the tri-brush. I Q Nautilus, auto attack E, do my best to stay on top of him, and now I'm just gonna walk into Ashe. As you can see, with my completed jungle item, they really have no chance. Also, a little tip for you guys: when you're already in combat with someone at point blank range, that's usually a pretty good time to use your Q. In this case, it's on cooldown. I'm going to keep autoing the Ashe, and then the moment she starts her next auto attack, watch what I do. So I auto, she starts her auto on me, and then I smack her in the face with my Q. That way, she can't juke it. Next, I'm going to help Kai'Sa shove and wave. That way I can get a lot of free gold and experience, and will also deny the enemy bot lane a lot of gold and experience as well. And if Rek'Sai shows up, I'll kill him as she comes for my AD carry. Even though Rek'Sai is nearby, since I'm not moving, she can't see me. The only way she can see you with her passive is if you're recalling or moving. This is going to make the enemies feel really safe, only seeing my AD carry. I also flip on my red oracle lens to make sure they can't see me. I then charge up my Q, launch through, miss, immediately ult onto the Ashe and get the kill. The best way to have handled that situation would have been to have walked out of the bush when they are chasing after my AD carry and pressed R on Ashe. That way she'd have zero chance of juking it, it would land, and then while she was stunned, I would have queued her right into my AD carry point blank range while she was still stunned from my ultimate. That way I would land all my damage and all my CC 100% guaranteed. Like we were talking about earlier, your E actually increases your auto attack range on Vi, and that's exactly what I was trying to do here. I Q in, almost hitting him, I E him, then I E him again after red smiting him, nearly killing Rek'Sai. And as you can see, the E range on Vi is kind of insane. It's almost as long as a Thresh auto attack. I shoved Rek'Sai out of her own jungle, and now I'm taking her golem camp for the third time. Another massive gold and experience lead for me. Your second full item that you're going to want to build on your buy is your boots. You're going to be turning those into tabbies or merc treads. In this case, the enemy team is mostly AD. And with the Veigar cage, I can easily get out of it with my ultimate, so that aspect of their main CC doesn't affect me. Same thing with Ashe ult. If she tries to ult me, I can just press R, negate the CC, and still land all my abilities on her. The next item you're going to build after your warrior and tier 2 boots is going to be a lifeline item or Trinity Force. If you're already team fighting, you're going to be going for lifeline item. If not, you're going to be going Trinity Force into lifeline item. And the lifeline item you're going to be building is Steric's Gauge or Maw of Malmortius. If the enemy team is insanely AP heavy, go for Maw. If they have a mix like they do here, go for Steric's Gauge. I didn't realize we were going to be team fighting this much this early, so I was actually going for a Trinity Force. What I'll end up doing though is building a lifeline item while keeping the same 2 daggers. I gotta say, this part where we were fighting Darius was really impressive. I tap flashed my Q, and then he actually ends up flashing my Q, so I don't know if that was skill on his part or pure luck, but I thought that was impressive. There's a few very important things in the late game I want to show you guys. For now, I'm going to show you some more Clown Fiesta. We just killed Darius, so I want to take some of Rek'Sai's jungle. As he chases me, I want to pull him towards a wall. Walls are Vi's best friend. She can go over them with her Q or her R. I'm hoping the enemies are greedy enough to pursue me, even though this is obviously a bait. I'm going to stand as close as I can, letting Pyke and 𝐒𝐿 get their bearings. Juke out the Nautilus Q. He should have just walked up to me. I'm going to ult the Rek'Sai. Then I'm going to Q him out of the stun. 𝐒𝐿 is blasting them over the wall. They didn't have enough time to do damage to me before Rek'Sai ulted, so his ult really didn't do anything. I'm still staying close to the wall to avoid getting killed by Veigar. I'm waiting for Pyke to stun him. I charge up my Q. I blast right into him, auto attack E. He drops ulti on me, but as you can see there, Vi's massive shield passive saved me several hundred damage there, which allowed me to live through the Veigar ult. Darius popping off a little bit, not too big of a deal. 4 of the enemies are still dead. I can push mid. If Darius comes to stop me, I can back away while 𝐒𝐿𝐿 keeps split pushing. If he doesn't come mid, I can take everything else for free. He's not coming mid, so I'm going to push into Rek'Sai's jungle and wipe it out while he's still in base fighting 𝐒𝐿𝐿. Like we talked about earlier, there's been a lot of team fighting pre 20 minutes this game, so I'm not going to finish my Trinity Force. Instead, I'm going to sell my refillable and build straight into a Steric's Gauge. Unless you go Aftershock on Vi, you don't typically want to be the first one to engage in a fight unless you are wildly far ahead. So in this fight, it's already happening. I come in and watch how I wait to use my ultimate until I can hit multiple people with it. I knock aside the Rek'Sai and the Nautilus, and I get on top of the Ashe, and I start my ultimate right when Ashe starts auto attacking me. Vi's ultimate has exactly 800 units of range. Caitlyn's auto attacks are the highest AD carry range auto attacks in the game at 650. That means if any AD carry is attacking you at any point in the game, you can hit them with your ultimate on Vi. So don't immediately just run at them. They'll see that coming from a mile away. They'll just keep running back. Instead, go after another high priority target in a team fight, whether that's peeling or killing a different squishy. And as you're fighting people, more people will get in the way, and then the moment when the enemy AD carry tries to auto you, you hit your ult, you'll be moving aside several people, damaging them as well with your ulti, and then you'll easily be able to obliterate the enemy AD carry while their teammates are still CC'd. After winning that fight, it allowed us to take 2 turrets and an inhibitor, a massive role for our team. I don't really want to continue fighting because I'm sitting on a bunch of gold. The enemies are stacked up and I don't have my ultimate or my teammates. So I'm just going to sacrifice Pyke and run away. While running, I'm going to clear out Rek'Sai's jungle to establish an even bigger gold and experience lead. If the enemies were coming to push me off, multiple of them, then I would just back off. But since they didn't, instead they chose to shove mid and chase 𝐒𝐿𝐿. It's allowing me to take this stuff for free. Whenever supports get behind, it's not uncommon for them to greed and sacrifice himself for a pink ward like Nautilus just did. As Veigar puts down his cage, I want to ultimate through it, but he's just barely out of my range and I end up walking into it. Luckily, it doesn't matter too much though, since we already killed Nautilus. Ashe is out of position, I Q to her, ultimate, and of course she's an AD carry, so she dies instantly. Unless it's Kai'Sa, the AD carry is going to die instantly because AD carries aren't supposed to be able to build Hourglass and still scale. This right here is why Vi counters a lot of dash champions, as Rek'Sai is in mid dash. I do a Q tap and knock her right out of it, saving my Kai'Sa and also making a very cool looking play. And that is going to wrap up this guide on how to play Vi like a pro in 15 minutes. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm quite a bit. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.